Hi, Mike from the rural Montana family. I'm in front of my boiler again already. It's only been a couple weeks since we had to replace a part, and again something else failed. And it's only like 11 years old. I guess those things only last 10 years. Well, let me show you how you can keep the fire going in this boiler without power. Let's go. So what happened, it blew the fuse on the boiler and the display went dark right here. So press the power button, nothing happened. The water pump was still running. I replaced the fuse, it blew again. Without the fuse, the blower is not running back here. So we'll have no blower there, so no air goes in here. Without fuse, these solenoids cannot open and blow air into the burner chamber and make all this work. So we need power to keep the fire going, otherwise we shut off the air supply and have no fire going. But we've been actually going now for 2 days because we're a little ways out of town and we had to round up some things. My tools are unfortunately not here. They're in my tool trailer at a job site. So it's a little tough. But you can see the fire here is actually going. And yes, it takes a little bit more monitoring and fiddling, but you can definitely make it work. So one of the things, in this case, the fire was not completely out. It kind of looked like it does right now when we got to it. And so what you do is you first of all open your bypass over here. And so that opens the bypass that is back there that goes straight out to the chimney. So this allows this to become a regular fire with air coming in through the door here right now, and some of it going out there, and as you can see, some of it coming out here. This way we can get the fire going, and eventually the fire will get going pretty good in here, and you can see it already back there. We are getting some flames, and eventually the fire will come out this way as well as shoot out the chimney. And that's obviously not good. I mean, we might burn up the door seal here, and we don't want the fire shooting out the chimney. You can maybe see there a little smoke going right now. So we want to have this door closed. So, but what we did, we got it going just like we have now, and then we close this door, which pretty much cuts the air supply. Yeah, you can see still a little bit of smoke, but it's getting less and less because we have not much air getting to it. The air that can get to the fire is basically has to come in through some cracks and possibly even coming backwards through the chimney. So, but we want to give it some air. So what we did, we disconnected the lid from the solenoid. So now I have this opening here, and this goes straight into the burner chamber right there. So now air can go into there, and you have to leave this door open. Since the blower no longer blows air in here, we have to leave it open so that air can get in there. And now if we're looking up here, you can see the smoke already has increased because now we have airflow from here into the burner chamber and out the chimney. So you will have to leave this bypass open. It is possible that you could close it and it would actually go down through the reaction chamber, through the heat exchanger, and then up out the chimney. There's a possibility that it creates enough draft to do so, but it doesn't really help because we're not pushing any air into the reaction chamber. When the boiler is running normally, we blow air down into the reaction chamber, and that burns the exhaust gases, increasing the temperature. But we don't have that right now. Right now it's basically just a regular fire. And you can see it's smoking pretty good right there. So that's what we want. So we got a fire going right now, and that's how you keep your boiler going without power or with a broken boiler. You still need power to your water pumps. Obviously, during a power outage, you can't get the water out of the boiler with these pumps pumping into the house unless you have some power. So you need to keep these pumps going somehow. But in case of having a failure on the boiler itself, like we do, the fuse actually is down in here. I got this all taken apart, but right there, that is the fuse, or in there is the fuse, and that keeps blowing, and we have a short somewhere. I gotta still find it, but yeah, remove this, open your bypass, and you get the fire going. One big disadvantage with this, now, as you can see, it's just burning away. It's not controlled. So when the water temperature comes up, it doesn't shut off the air supply automatically as it usually would do. So that means the fire just keeps going and going and going, and your water temperature keeps going up and up and up. And there's not really an easy way to just monitor the water temperature in this case. But what happens is it will start to boil in there, and you can hear that. So you have to monitor it quite frequently. You know, during the day, maybe every hour or every two, come out here and check if you hear the boiling. Once you hear the boiling going, you need to put that lid back on and close the bypass to kill the fire. And otherwise, if you don't do so, the temperature will rise, and eventually it will steam out up there through this little chimney thing there, this little vent. Yeah, because when you boil water, it starts to steam, so it will come out of there. And it's not necessarily a huge deal if you catch it right about at the time when it starts, or not too far along. So, and then you just shut your fire down by cutting the air off. Another way to kind of control it is don't put too much wood in there. Just put maybe half or even less in there. Once the wood's burned down, obviously there's no more heat. But you want to have enough in there, I mean, to keep your house warm and to keep it going long enough, maybe like through the night. So we had about a 3/4 full burner chamber last night, and this morning it was burned down completely. And then we restocked this morning, and during the restocking process, actually the water temperature came way up really quick, and it started steaming out the vent there a little bit. So we shut the air off by closing the bypass and putting the lid back on the pipe back there. You could also just leave the bypass open, and it will kind of smolder along a little bit, generate some heat, and that may actually be enough to keep your house warm depending on the load that you have on the boiler. So for us, that will work for several hours. Sometimes we don't need this fire going all the time. This boiler is plenty big with the volume of water to keep our house warm even after the boiler shuts down for several hours. All right, well, there it is, still smoking away. We're letting it go right now a little bit, so I'm going to leave that open. I'm going to leave the back open, and I'll be coming back out here in about an hour, because it's been pretty much without fire for several hours right now, so we want to warm it up a little bit. But in any event, please give us a thumbs up for this video. Subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on our other boiler failures. And yeah, thank you for watching. Goodbye.